Zenith is an amazing open-world MMO action RPG built from the ground up for VR headsets. Similar to a lot of MMOs in the past, there are a lot of deep features in the game, but it doesn't exactly go out of its way to explain them all to you. So today, we're going to go over 11 things the game doesn't tell you that you need to know. If you enjoy this video or find it useful, consider subscribing and keep an eye out for tons more Zenith content. Now let's begin. As you level up in the game, you obtain new abilities by unlocking Godstones. These grant you a variety of special attacks that can be activated by performing specific motions and combos. You can have one unlocked Godstone selected at a time per row to have that ability equipped when performing the specific actions listed. Once you've obtained a Godstone, you can also select it and upgrade it in the menu to the right called the Soul Forge. As a Godstone levels up with XP, it can then have additional stats applied such as the ability's effectiveness or faster cooldown, which increases the rate at which you can perform the action. There are a lot of unique abilities that require different action as you get further in the game, and there are a lot of upgrades for them that are crucial for making your character more powerful, so be sure to read the descriptions for each very carefully. For Blademasters, it requires a lot of horizontal or vertical strikes at first, such as after 3 in a row activates a Godstone ability. For stronger attacks, pressing and holding the triggers prior to swinging will charge up the swords, and then a certain motion such as a downward strike will activate the stronger ability. Both cadence and strong attacks will have a visual cue such as an animation and higher HP damage count, and there's a short cooldown before being able to perform them again, which can be monitored next to your health if necessary. Some also use mana, but these abilities called Godstones do the most damage overall and should be used often. You can also block melee and even projectile attacks as well, but it does use stamina each block that is performed, and this typically worked better for me while holding the triggers before blocking. Mages are slightly different. They come equipped with 2 guns that can either deal damage or heal depending on the class chosen, but when the guns are holstered, the mages can also press the triggers and perform certain motions that activate spells for casting, such as a motion up, down, or drawing a circle, then releasing. Blademasters and mages have their own set of abilities, as do the roles of damage per second, tank, and healers, so again be sure to check the ether disc to see how each action is performed, and then the ability referred to as a Godstone that it activates. Gliding is an essential way of traversal while exploring the world of Zenith, and by default it's set to the basic setting that just basically makes you T-pose while off the ground to initiate it. The best setting for gliding, however, is when it's set to sensitive. Now, it takes a little bit of getting used to, so start with basic if need be, but eventually force yourself to start using sensitive because in the end it gives you much more control. The main difference between basic and sensitive is that with sensitive you can actually twist your forearms up and down to control your movement. For example, just striking a T-pose in the air will cause you to kind of hover in place, but rotating your forearms forward will cause you to dive, and turning them back will cause you to gain a little elevation with enough momentum. The most fun part of this method is being able to fly around the world with a lot more speed, rather than being locked to one speed with the basic setting. Stamina is crucial for sprinting, blocking, gliding, climbing, and jumping, and what they don't tell you is that there is a way to permanently increase your stamina meter. As you first enter the Fractured Plains, to the far right is the Shrine To Amara. From here you can get several quests in which upon each completion gives you a permanent stat increase. If you've noticed random little crystallized teardrops scattered throughout the world, do whatever you can to immediately grab them, because you'll need quite a few if you want to keep increasing your stamina. This will allow you to glide for longer distances, block, and jump more. Any player character can revive another, regardless of class, but it can be a little tough to see at first. Once a player is downed, a little stream of life energy is emitted from them. To revive them, simply locate the stream and place your hand over it and wait for it to charge up until the downed player comes back to life. If you're attacked while trying to revive, it will interrupt the process, forcing you to start over again. So make sure you prioritize clearing any nearby enemies first, or just acting really fast. Scattered throughout the world, but mostly spotted in safe zones, are Enhancement Stations. These allow you to enchant your current weapons and armor with stat boosting upgrades such as increased attack, defense, support, and so on. It costs both Zen, which is the currency in the game, as well as Enhancement Dust. Zen can be earned by completing quests and selling items, while Enhancement Dust is collected by other means. The easiest way is to really just gather it from loot chests hidden around the world, but one of the best methods is by breaking down items in your inventory. To do so, just drag any item that you no longer want to use into the little red dust pile in your inventory. This will help you collect stacks of enhancement dust, which you're going to need a lot for upgrading your weapons and armor. Each area also has a synthesis station, which is used for crafting your own weapons and armor. The level of the weapons and armor are relative to the level of the current area you're in, with the Fractured Plains, the starting area for example, having level 5 and 7 items to craft. The special items needed to be obtained for crafting are also usually found within the same area or a previous one. These special items can be collected from loot chests, rare drops from enemies, but the most common way is by completing the events in the same area of the machine. Once you've collected the resources needed, you can then select what you want to craft and then grab the materials that emerge in front of you and place them on the item you're crafting until it's completed. Just for those who might have missed this, there is a shop where you can purchase and sell items. It's located in the Nexus district next to the chef. Just keep in mind that breaking down items into enhancement dust is sometimes a better solution, as it's much harder to come by than Zen currency. Guilds are essential for building a community in an MMO, allowing you to group up with a massive amount of friends, sport a cool group tag, and while there may not be any benefits at launch, there can definitely be unique items added later for them. You can select Create Guild from the options menu, name it, create it, and then add players by pressing and holding the trigger buttons over their names and then letting go once it turns green. A sub-menu will pop up where then you can invite them and can also add members to your party here. However, Guild has a much higher capacity. By default, the game uses a global proximity chat. However, if you're wanting to keep in contact with your guild or party, you can go to the sound settings and select the option to switch to those, which creates a private group chat that allows you to communicate if separated. Finally, we have cooking, which is one of the coolest interactive features in the game, but it might take a minute to figure out. Cooking is not only fun, but important for providing health regen and other status buffs if you eat before a tough battle. The recipes you pick up and learn from the chef at the Nexus District will help in providing what to do with the ingredients, which can typically be found all around the world. In the options menu, select the stockpot icon and then toggle the station to bring up your own portable cooking table. Then to turn on the stovetops, grab the igniter, insert it into the center of the table, and push it to turn it on. Different recipes require different ingredients, so just follow whatever they tell you. While you can't hand somebody else food or drinks to store, you can still feed them by directly shoving it into their mouth. Just don't make too much eye contact while doing so. Or do. Alright guys, well there it is, 11 essential tips to get you started in Zenith. This game is amazing, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. I cannot recommend it enough. Thanks for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.